Hello, future medical professionals. Welcome to this comprehensive session on Class 11 Biology. Today, we are diving deep into body fluids and circulation, specifically focusing on disorders of the circulatory system. This topic is crucial for understanding human health and is a frequently tested area in NEET. We'll start with the basics, build up to intermediate concepts, then tackle advanced complexities, and finally, prepare you for competitive level insights. Get ready for an exciting journey into the heart of human physiology. Let's begin our exploration with the fundamentals. What exactly are these circulatory disorders, and what are some common examples you should know? Circulatory disorders are conditions that impair the normal functioning of your heart and blood vessels. They can disrupt the delivery of vital oxygen and nutrients to your body's cells, leading to various health issues. One of the most common is high blood pressure, or hypertension. It's often called the silent killer because it usually presents without obvious symptoms until severe damage has occurred. Factors like unhealthy diet, lack of exercise, and stress are major contributors. Over time, uncontrolled hypertension can severely damage your arteries, heart, brain, and kidneys. Another significant disorder is coronary artery disease, or CAD. This occurs when the blood vessels supplying your heart muscle become narrowed or blocked, typically due to the buildup of fatty deposits called plaque. This process is known as atherosclerosis. Risk factors include high cholesterol, smoking, and diabetes. CAD can lead to chest pain, known as angina, or a heart attack if blood flow is completely cut off. Finally, heart failure is a chronic condition where the heart struggles to pump enough blood to meet the body's demands. It doesn't mean the heart stops, but its efficiency is compromised, often as a result of long-term CAD or hypertension. Now that we've covered the basics, let's test your understanding with a few simple practice questions. Take a moment to read each question and consider the best answer based on what we've just discussed. These questions will help solidify your foundational knowledge of circulatory system disorders. Great job with the easy level. Now, let's deepen our understanding of these conditions. We'll explore more details about their causes, mechanisms, and specific types. Hypertension, as we learned, is a silent threat. It's broadly categorized into primary, or essential, hypertension, which has no identifiable cause and is linked to lifestyle and genetics, and secondary hypertension, which arises from underlying conditions like kidney disease or hormonal imbalances. Understanding this distinction is crucial for diagnosis and treatment. Coronary artery disease, or CAD, is fundamentally driven by atherosclerosis, the progressive hardening and narrowing of arteries due to plaque buildup. This process can lead to symptoms like angina pectoris, which is chest pain caused by insufficient oxygen to the heart muscle, often triggered by exertion. Expanding on CAD, a severe manifestation is myocardial infarction, commonly known as a heart attack. This acute event occurs when a blood clot completely blocks a coronary artery, leading to the death of heart muscle tissue. It's critical to differentiate this from heart failure, which is a chronic condition where the heart's pumping ability is generally weakened over time. Heart failure can result from various causes, including a prior heart attack, and presents with symptoms like shortness of breath and fatigue as the heart struggles to meet the body's needs. Finally, let's look at stroke, or cerebrovascular accident. A stroke occurs when blood supply to a part of the brain is interrupted, causing brain cells to die. There are two main types: ischemic stroke, caused by a clot blocking an artery, and hemorrhagic stroke, caused by a ruptured blood vessel in the brain. Both are medical emergencies with potentially devastating impacts on neurological function. Understanding these distinctions and their underlying mechanisms is key to grasping the complexities of circulatory disorders. You've now navigated through the medium-level content. It's time to test how well you've absorbed these deeper explanations. Here are 5 practice questions designed to assess your understanding of hypertension types, atherosclerosis, the difference between heart attack and heart failure, and the types of stroke. Good luck! Excellent work! Ready to elevate your knowledge? In this hard level, we'll delve into the intricate pathophysiology, diagnostic techniques, and advanced concepts of circulatory disorders. Let's analyze hypertension further. The renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAS, is a complex hormonal cascade that critically regulates blood pressure. Its dysregulation is a major contributor to hypertension. We'll also examine how endothelial dysfunction, the impaired function of the inner lining of blood vessels, exacerbates high blood pressure and contributes to target organ damage. For myocardial infarction, we'll explore the detailed mechanism of plaque rupture and thrombus formation, along with the critical diagnostic markers like cardiac troponins and the emergency management strategies like angioplasty, which are vital for saving heart muscle. Next, we'll explore cardiac arrhythmias, which are irregular heartbeats caused by abnormalities in the heart's electrical system. We'll differentiate between tachycardias, where the heart beats too fast, and bradycardias, where it beats too slowly, and discuss life-threatening fibrillations. Valvular heart diseases, such as stenosis and regurgitation, impair blood flow through the heart by affecting the heart valve's ability to open fully or close properly. Finally, we'll touch upon congenital heart defects, which are structural problems present at birth, like atrial septal defect or tetralogy of Fallot, and how they impact circulation. Understanding the precise pathophysiology behind these conditions is crucial. For instance, knowing how RAS influences blood volume and vasoconstriction helps in understanding antihypertensive drug mechanisms. Similarly, grasping the mechanical issues in valvular diseases explains their impact on cardiac output. We'll also briefly look at key diagnostic techniques like ECG, angiography, and echocardiography, which are indispensable tools for identifying and characterizing these complex disorders. Connecting these theories helps build a holistic understanding of the circulatory system's vulnerabilities. You've now tackled some challenging concepts. It's time to apply your analytical skills. Here are 7 practice questions that require a deeper understanding of pathophysiology, diagnostic principles, and the interconnections between various circulatory disorders. Think critically and choose the best answers. Congratulations on reaching the hardest level. Here, we'll dive into the cutting-edge aspects, molecular insights, and competitive exam depth required for any ET success. Get ready for a truly in-depth exploration. At this level, we dissect the molecular and cellular basis of atherosclerosis. We'll trace the journey from initial endothelial dysfunction, where risk factors cause damage to the vessel lining, through lipid infiltration and oxidation, to the formation of foam cells and the inflammatory cascade that builds the atherosclerotic plaque. Crucially, we'll understand how the thinning of the fibrous cap, often due to enzymatic activity, leads to plaque rupture, triggering acute coronary syndromes. This detailed understanding is foundational for advanced cardiology. Beyond the RAS, advanced hypertension involves a delicate balance between vasoconstrictors like endothelin and vasodilators like nitric oxide. An imbalance contributes significantly to sustained high blood pressure. We'll also consider genetic predispositions and the emerging field of pharmacogenomics, which aims to tailor antihypertensive therapies based on an individual's genetic makeup. Furthermore, we'll explore cardiac remodeling in heart failure, where initial compensatory mechanisms like hypertrophy and dilation become maladaptive, leading to progressive myocardial damage, fibrosis, and ultimately, a decline in heart function. Our journey continues with advanced arrhythmia management, including electrophysiology studies to map the heart's electrical activity and catheter ablation techniques to correct abnormal pathways. We'll also discuss the life-saving roles of implantable cardioverter defibrillators and pacemakers. We then categorize cardiomyopathies, which are diseases of the heart muscle itself, into dilated, hypertrophic, and restrictive types, understanding their distinct pathologies, genetic links, and clinical presentations. These conditions highlight the diverse ways the heart muscle can fail. Finally, we explore peripheral artery disease, or PAD, which involves atherosclerosis in non-coronary arteries, primarily in the legs, leading to symptoms like intermittent claudication. We'll also examine the critical role of biomarkers in cardiac disorders. Cardiac troponins are highly sensitive indicators of myocardial damage in heart attacks, while natriuretic peptides like BNP are essential for diagnosing and monitoring heart failure. High-sensitivity C-reactive protein, or hsCRP, acts as a general inflammatory marker and a predictor of cardiovascular risk. These insights are vital for both diagnosis and prognostic assessment in clinical practice. You've absorbed a tremendous amount of complex information. Now, it's time to challenge yourself with the first set of 5 practice questions for the hardest level. These questions demand critical thinking, integration of multiple concepts, and a thorough understanding of the detailed mechanisms we've discussed. Take your time, analyze each option carefully, and select the most accurate answer. Let's continue to test your mastery with the remaining 5 practice questions for the hardest level. These questions push the boundaries of your knowledge, requiring you to connect theoretical concepts with clinical scenarios and advanced diagnostic principles. Approach them with confidence, applying all the in-depth insights you've gained. Your ability to tackle these demonstrates a strong grasp of the topic. You've successfully completed a deep dive into the disorders of the circulatory system. We've covered everything from basic definitions to competitive-level insights, equipping you with a comprehensive understanding. Remember, consistent practice and conceptual clarity are your keys to success in any ET. For more such in-depth educational content, practice questions, and personalized learning experiences, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more amazing biology lessons. Keep learning, keep growing.